Beep, 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 beep. And we're racing in Bahrain.
Bahrain. That was amazing. I did not know you were going to do that.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back, everybody. My name is Carl Matsumoto.
I'm Josiah Matsumoto.
And this is Motosports.
And that's Jared.
With us always is Jared.
Hello.
First of all, though, I do have to say, shout out, Carl. Today we're recording on a special day. It's your birthday.
Tis.
Happy birthday,
Tis
Carl.
my birthday.
Wow, happy birthday. I really did not. I knew your birthday was March 6th.
And you
I had
didn't
no idea
realize
that was today.
Yeah, today we're recording.
It's today.
Yeah, we're recording the day after the race.
And the day of my birth.
And the day of your birth. It's fantastic.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So happy birthday.
Thank
that's
you.
why the season opener was yesterday. It was in celebration of Carl's birth.
Well, celebration of both of our birthdays because
Yeah.
it was our birthday weekend.
This is true. Our birthday weekend.
Indeed. We were in New York, and your birthday was pretty...
The Big Apple.
Okay, the
as
Big
your
Apple.
parents say. I love it. Shout out Lynn and Jerry.
And the Big Apple.
And the Big Apple.
But yeah, we were in the Big Apple, and Josiah had a pretty magical birthday.
I did. My birthday was super magical. We did all of the things. We saw a new show in preview at the Public. My friend Dwight is in it. Shout out Dwight. He's not listening. He doesn't watch Formula One. But anyways, and then amazing dinner. We went to Marcus Samuelson's restaurant, Otmar.
Thank you for the recommendation, Jesse and Lauren.
Shout out Jesse and Lauren.
Yes.
All the shout outs happening.
Yeah. Got to get the shout outs out of the way.
Absolutely. And shout out Marcus Samuelson.
Because
he actually came up to us and like thanked us for dining
and
there.
asked
like,
us how the food was. When we
sort of freaked out.
I freaked out. I had no chill.
We both
said,
freaked out.
Is that the hosts of Motosports?
He literally did though. Like it had to be. It had to be.
We're not known for anything else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we've got a healthy 22 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
So for sure he knows about us.
Totally. But it was super magical. He just walked right up and like put his hand out and was like,
we
Thank
were
you for being here.
staring.
Oh yeah, we were.
We were staring.
Cuz like he's not the chef in the cuisine of the restaurant. Like he's the head chef, he's the owner, but somebody else runs the kitchen nightly. And so we didn't expect him to be there at all even. And Carl saw him sitting or heard somebody mention that he was sitting. So we started staring at him.
We literally like watched him walk around the restaurant, and then at one point we took a selfie, quote unquote selfie, and he was in the background. And he may have seen us do that, so that's why he came up to us.
Pretty sure he did, but it was amazing. He came up and said, "Hi, thank you for dining with us." And I think I said, "Oh my God," and then Carl said, "I can't believe you just walked up to us."
I told you I was.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Very much not. I was not playing it cool.
No. We just blabbered for a few seconds, and he basically was like, "All right, cool, bye."
Yep.
But it was amazing. It was truly an incredible moment.
And I do think.
Then we saw SZA.
Which was incredible.
Fantastic.
And that was all on your birthday?
That was all
on
my birthday
March
on Saturday.
4th, Josiah's 30th birthday.
Woo! Shout out 30.
Wow. What a good 30th birthday.
Honestly.
And you're going to keep going here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're here today. I shoveled on my birthday. Nah, it's been a good day. It's been chill.
Good.
How I like my birthday.
Good.
Understated.
Oh, but were you going to say the whiskey thing, I guess?
Oh, yeah. Josiah made the bartender at Otmar, or waiter, open a bottle of whiskey that had
it was wax
really
dipped.
intense wax dip.
It was.
She started like getting kind of flustered, and like
Yeah, it took
other
her, like,
people
15
were
minutes.
asking for things. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get this thing off.
I felt so bad.
But she liked you. And especially after Marcus Samuelson came up to us, she was like, she asked us our names.
Yeah. I was like, we're never going to meet you again. Like,
we're
we
not
don't live
anybody.
here. Yeah. It was hilarious.
We're like, all right.
Yeah. And it took so long, and that she ended up giving me an extra free whiskey.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't have to do that. I'm just happy to pay for the one. I made you do that. Like, this was embarrassing for me almost. But I really enjoyed it. It was a really delicious whiskey, especially with that dessert. It's caramelized bananas.
Oh, man.
Anyways, we're here to talk about Formula One.
Indeed.
Great intro. On to the serious topic.
On to the topic at hand.
The real reason you're all here. Our take. Oh, wait, no, we need to do housekeeping.
Oh, man, whoa. Housekeeping. So, we have been a little bit all over the place getting our social medias in order, but we're getting there, and we would love if you followed us. We are motosportpod pretty much everywhere. Instagram, TikTok. Our email is
motosportpod@gmail.com.
Indeed. So give us a follow, and also we're on Spotify, Google,
Apple Podcasts,
everywhere. All those places.
Yeah.
So subscribe if you like what you hear. Rate us.
Wherever you're listening right now, subscribe. Just subscribe.
Yeah.
And like it, comment if you want,
and
if you can.
If you wish to give us a high rating, I won't coerce you like I did my friend Claire. Shout out Claire. She gave us 5 stars because I said give us 5 stars.
She said that was an honest review. She said she would not do it just because you said. She said it was an honest review, and I believe her.
All right. Well, still.
So thank you, Claire.
But yeah, I think, is that it? Is that all the housekeeping?
Follow us, subscribe.
Oh, and if you didn't catch the race.
Oh, yeah.
Go on.
Spoilers.
This is a spoilers episode.
There will be spoilers. But
there's a quick recap on our Instagram page.
And TikTok.
And TikTok. Yeah.
It's F1 and bullet journaling. So everything
you've ever wished for.
Everything your heart desires.
Yeah.
This is posted already?
I posted it like 3 minutes ago.
Oh, I was okay.
Yeah, no.
I did not see this. This sounds great.
Yeah, like right before we started.
It's basically
recording.
It's a time lapse of where people started in qualifying, and then the end results. So the drivers' results with the positions lost or gained, and then points gained, and then the constructors and their order and points gained. So
it's a very effective tool to recap what happened.
I'm gonna try to do it after every race weekend.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be great.
I'm so excited. Do we have a name of that? What that concept is?
Not
Just
yet.
Like the Carl recap.
Oh yeah, I like that.
We can workshop it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good idea. We'll have a
Carl Bujo recap. No, that's too much.
We'll workshop it offline.
We're not workshopping it now. Okay, never mind.
Give us a call. Lines open. Come suggest a name.
Or shoot us an email
or shoot us an email if you happen to not be listening live right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is
DM us.
All of you.
Yeah, I was like, wait, who's listening live?
You can't listen. All right, let's get to this. So this was a wild race weekend. It's just interesting. First race of the season to see what our expectations.
How everything shakes out.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Different.
Yeah, so we're planning to. Do you want us to go over sort of what we're going to talk about?
Let's just get into it.
All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so
biggest losers.
First up, biggest losers. Who were the biggest losers of the weekend?
Ocon.
Esteban. Oh man.
And like not even in a way that feels like you deserve it.
No. It was just sad.
It was just penalty after penalty.
So unfortunate.
The layering of penalties, I didn't even know that could be a thing.
Right? I did not understand it. I guess I can understand the first one.
Do you want to walk us through what the penalties were?
I'll try to remember all of the penalties.
I actually don't know if I fully understand the first one.
The first, so
it is confusing.
Apparently, he was set just a little too far forward.
At the start of the
race. After the formation lap, he got to his spot and he just inched a little too far forward. Okay. Barely.
Yeah. And so that was a 5-second penalty.
So he comes in and the team takes what they believe to be 5 seconds before they start and then go to work on his car, change the wing.
And then the FIA reviews the footage and determines that a mechanic started working on the car 0.04 seconds too soon. And so he got another penalty.
So he got another. So then it was a 10-second penalty that he had to serve at the next one. And then when he came into pit to take that penalty, he got another penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And he was going, 0.01 miles an hour too fast, something like that.
It was why are you paying so much attention to this?
It was the most nitpicky thing.
I know. I was like,
and he was in the back of the race because he also made contact, so he had a little damage on his front wing, and that's why he was coming in and had to take that 5-second penalty in the first place. And then, it's just 15 seconds of penalties racked up. It's just ridiculous.
For 0.04 seconds of
wild.
penalty. It was,
and I get that you got to be strict about rules, but I feel like they're not that consistent about it.
I feel like it feels like the FIA setting a tone for this year, but just
maybe
making an example of Ocon,
right? He's in last place anyways at this point. He can't do much with this car because he made contact, had to have a wing replacement.
Yeah,
that's a lot of time lost anyways.
They just retired the car.
Yeah. They're this is pointless. Mm-hmm. We're going to put the car in the garage for the rest of the race. And that was the first DNF of the night. Yeah, did not finish. I know.
Definitely a loser.
Yeah,
definitely a loser in this one.
And no fault of his own, really.
Well, that's
one fault of his own. Only one, though. Well, technically 2. But,
technically 3.
Still. Well, not 3. No, because that was an engineer.
Was the mechanic.
The second one was not his fault. Mm-hmm. And the other 2 were just so minor. I just don't understand. But oh well. Sorry, Ocon. You're one of the biggest losers.
One of the biggest losers. Yeah. Next loser, McLaren.
I'd have to say McLaren. Yeah, McLaren as a team. Oof, this was rough.
I kept reading about Lando and how he had an unexpected 6-stop strategy is how people are quoting his race.
This unexpected 6-stop. Honestly, I thought that at a certain point they just decided that they were going to keep testing things. So let's just bring
that is what they were doing.
Get more data.
They were testing the pit stops,
it's
just a really funny way to phrase it. And then Piastri
end up in last. Wait, he was
out.
Well, Piastri was out. Yeah, he didn't finish. That was too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Also one of the bigger losers, because that sucks.
Yeah.
Your first race in F1, and you don't get to finish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, McLaren, really...
rough weekend.
Really struggling.
Especially from going from, having a good season last year, but the car struggled, and, specifically Ricciardo struggled with the car. And then you ditch Ricciardo, you buy out his contract, you pay all this extra money, and then you buy a new contract. All this extra money goes into that, and then you have the worst car on the grid in the first race.
Right?
Yeah.
Is this a direct result of that? They didn't have the budget? Or
no, because
because
I don't think
driver stipends aren't included in the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of wild?
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
It feels really weird, right? It's
It's
that's
wild,
like
yeah.
one of the biggest components of this sport is the driver,
Right?
and it's not part of the budget.
I know. It's confused. Yeah, the budget cap really is all about the car.
Wait, and you're positive about that? It's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
The budget is all related to the car. So it's the hour, like anybody's hours that goes into the car and the parts and the wind tunnel and the like everything that goes into the car. The research and everything, engineer pay and whatnot. But everything that goes into the car. But since the drivers are so high profile, it's not. The drivers are so high profile. It's like, well, I don't know. It's just on a different level.
Yeah.
The amount of money that goes into their salaries. So, and I think the team principals also not included in the budget cap.
Okay. I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anyways, McLaren, biggest losers.
Biggest losers.
Haas had a rough weekend too.
Yeah, I think it wasn't like.
Better. I thought they were going to do better.
I don't know. To me, it wasn't. There's like potential there and everything. I don't think
it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't.
I think Ferrari was a bigger loser than Haas.
Yeah, Ferrari.
What are they doing?
Get it right. Like,
what are they doing?
New team boss. Like, it felt like they seemed like they were more confident going into the weekend. It felt like they had things together, like they were discussing things in advance. They had to plan, and it just didn't happen. The car couldn't hold up.
And now they've already used like one of two like available spare parts for like their battery.
So they're gonna start taking engine penalties.
Yeah, it's like the season hasn't even started.
That's wild. And Leclerc couldn't finish the first race. He won in Bahrain last year. Didn't finish this year.
It was just so. It was like watching last season all over again in this very first race.
Yeah. It was, but hopefully they can get it out of the way. They can work on that and get better.
But Sainz seemed pretty like defeated in the pace of the car in general. Yeah, compared to Aston Martin.
Well, the degradation was way higher on the Ferrari than
and he kept saying he was bouncing a lot.
Oh yeah, at the end there especially.
Yeah,
he's like, "Why am I bouncing so much? This doesn't make sense. Shouldn't be happening." Because all the cars are raised higher to prevent that. Yeah, silliness.
So, boy,
lots of losers, honestly.
But maybe it's Verstappen and Checo didn't finish in Bahrain last year, and then Max went on to win. So maybe Leclerc will go on to win.
But
we just do exactly what happened last year.
You guys
just swap
it. I'd be so happy if that were to happen, but I have my doubts.
Easy solution.
I mean,
to a problem that isn't really a problem, but you know,
man, I gotta say, Mercedes is also kind of a loser this weekend.
I would agree.
They're in worse shape than they were at the start of last season. Even though it's not violently bouncing, just like they don't have the pace. Yeah, it's just not there.
I know.
The aerodynamics are off. They got to change that side pod.
They're going to, right?
Yeah, they are. They have a different plan. But they say it's not going to look like the others, though. That it's just something different than what's currently on the grid.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see what that is. And hopefully it works. But I think there's still, this year, they've already sort of committed to doing more experimentation with this vehicle based on the W13 model. They're like, well, let's give it one more year because we have all this development into it and we don't want to fully change the car concept. And they kept coming back to it. So I don't know. I hope it works.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's clearly something they see. Like, there's some potential in the design. Like, they wouldn't be sticking to it if there wasn't. There's something there. And if they can unlock it, it's going to be amazing. But I don't know.
So Mercedes.
Loser. One of the biggest losers. Even though we're all wearing Mercedes.
We are all wearing Mercedes hats right now.
Shout out Mercedes. We do love you still, even though you're a loser.
Let's talk about winners.
Yeah, biggest winners, hands down, biggest winner, Alonso. Fernando Alonso. He was the biggest winner today.
Yes.
And Aston Martin in general.
Aston and Martin.
Stroll did.
Yeah, Aston and Martin.
Oh yes, Aston and Martin.
They Aston and Martin.
Biggest winners.
Yeah, but especially Fernando Alonso.
No, yeah.
Because
he was having a
great
time. He was having a great time.
I mean, just flying around. Like, he was having more fun in that car than he's ever had in F1, maybe ever, is what it feels like. And he's a 2-time world champion.
Yeah.
And he's always so angry.
I do love that Lance was the one who hit him.
Oh, yeah. That was hilarious.
So funny.
And Alonso immediately on the radio is like, they can't do that.
Like, okay, this is how good Aston Martin's weekend is. Opening lap, you have your driver run into the other car.
The son of the owner.
The son of the owner.
Runs into the new driver.
Yes.
And they are the biggest winner of this weekend.
Yep.
Biggest winner.
Yep.
That could not set them back.
Right? It's
easily
wild.
The biggest winner.
It's wild. And Lance had a broken wrist, a broken toe, and didn't get to do any of the preseason testing. Barely got to run in free practice and was struggling. Had an amazing race.
And had a great race.
Had an amazing race. Ugh, annoying.
I know.
How did they go from 9, P9 in the Constructors' Championship last year?
I thought it was 7.
Oh. And then,
but yeah, regardless, they had a big jump.
They had a huge jump. They had because last season was not good. I think you're right, though. I don't think they were in 9th. AlphaTauri was in 9th. That's who it was.
Yes.
Yeah. I flipped those.
Sure.
But still, 7 to fighting for 2nd?
Yeah.
Easily? Have a quicker car. Jump. You have a better car than Mercedes, who supplies your power unit. That's wild. That's embarrassing.
I think that has to be a huge part in Mercedes being like, okay, we have the wrong concept.
Yeah.
Because Aston Martin is doing everything we're doing.
Except
the base concept is totally different.
Yeah.
Right. It's more like Red Bulls.
More like Red Bulls, yeah. It's a Mercedes power unit with a Red Bull aerodynamic design, essentially.
Exactly.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's really frustrating.
It's frustrating.
It's really frustrating.
It's not fair. I mean, it's fair. I mean,
it's not
choices.
Fair. This is my birthday weekend.
I just want Mercedes to win. It's true though.
But you are still a biggest winner.
Yeah,
week.
Absolutely, and congrats.
Congrats.
Honestly. Alonso was so elated.
He was
the
so
whole time.
happy.
It was really cute.
Yeah, it honestly.
Even though I'm not a huge fan of his. I mean, great driver, always.
Oh yeah,
truly
always
incredible driver.
Yeah.
No disrespect, just not a great person.
But if he gets close, I'm gonna be cheering for him to win the world
that would be
championship.
Amazing, honestly.
Yeah. But I generally agree.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes, that is accurate.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. Other biggest winners. Red Bull.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Enough said. Let's move on.
I don't know. I want to talk real quick about 2 things.
Right.
One, Checo looked good. Most of the race, he was running at a faster pace than Max. And I think he has it in him to take the fight a little closer to Max this year. And I love seeing that.
Come on.
So Checo, biggest winner. One of the biggest winners tonight.
I
think, yeah. Had he had a better start, I think he could have fought for P1 in the race. But he had a terrible start.
Yeah.
He was really slow off the blocks. Yeah. But, oh well. But Red Bull as a whole, in a league of their own
they
right
were
now.
Far ahead of everybody else.
It was embarrassing.
It really was.
Yeah.
Kind
there
of
was
shocking.
Zero competition. Nobody was fighting for the front.
No.
It was sad. It was kind of boring, actually. Yeah. There was even a point in the race where the announcers were saying, why are we watching and talking about the race for last place? That's the most interesting thing happening on the grid. It was Norris and Zhou Guanyu. Yeah. Fighting for not last place. And that's it. So weird.
I do think it was an interesting fight for who's going to be the second best team. Right?
Definitely.
That was very interesting.
For a
very
while,
compelling.
for most of the race.
And they're leaving it at a place where you're still wondering for the rest of the season.
Absolutely.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, because clearly the Aston Martin has the advantage right now, I think, as a car.
Right.
But, I mean, Ferrari and Mercedes know what they need to work on. They have plans to bring upgrades. Like, we could see it.
Yeah. But nobody's fighting with Red Bull.
But
there are a lot of fights happening right behind Red Bull.
Yes, and that's fun. That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Have been good. Cool. Any other winners?
I would say Gasly is a winner.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Gasly.
From last place.
Right? To 9th?
To points. Yeah.
Amazing. Great race. And his first race in the Alpine.
First race in the Alpine.
Especially when Ocon had such a terrible race.
I know. Makes him look even better.
Yeah.
Like, finish the race. Not only finish the race, but made up 11 places and got points.
It was an amazing race. Like, I think he's going to be fighting way higher up the grid for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alpine's still going to be in a pretty good place to be fighting for, well, 5th, I guess.
Yeah.
Since everyone fighting for 2nd will end up in 3rd and 4th. and, well, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Right.
So I guess 5th it might be their best option. But still, like, I think he'll be up there. And who knows? Maybe they'll take it
Maybe they'll take it further, yeah.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see. I'm happy to see Gasly in a better car.
He's showing that he
deserves it.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
He's a great driver, clearly.
He's put the work in. And speaking of Pierre and putting the work in, this relates kind of to AlphaTauri. Yuki looked good.
Yuki looked good.
Yuki had a good race.
His pass, when he passed, I can't remember who it was, but 2 cars at once, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
2 in a row.
I think it was Albon and Sargent. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it? Or was it?
Well, it was Sargent and somebody. I don't know.
Well, anyway, it looked really smooth.
Yeah.
And, like, he knew what he was doing.
He had it under control. Yeah.
Yeah. It was...
And, like, he looked good in qualifying, too.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lap time deleted, which meant he didn't make it into Q3. But still, he had a great weekend. He was looking focused, driven, and better than his teammate.
Yeah.
Nick De Vries.
But De Vries still did pretty well for
honestly, De Vries had a good race.
Car.
Yeah, AlphaTauri, slight winners, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Slight winners.
Well,
I would
they
say
were in P9 last year, so I think they had a good weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would say slight winners is accurate. I would say that Williams is one of the biggest winners.
Yes.
Because Albon
had a great race.
Points and Sargent on his debut.
Yeah.
In Formula 1.
Yeah, he ended up in P12.
And they both moved up from qualifying.
Yeah. They had great races.
And Williams was like nowhere to be seen.
Literally.
Last season,
like they could not even fight for higher than last place. Well, Albon could.
Albon could.
Right. It wasn't all the cars.
Yeah.
That's true. But it was a bad car. And like it seems like the car is doing a lot better this year. And that's good to see.
Mm-hmm.
I always want to see Williams do well. You know?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Even though it's not family owned anymore. But still, respect.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So we have our biggest losers. We have our biggest winners. But who do each of us think was the driver of the day? Because official fan vote said Alonso, driver of the day. A deserving win, I think, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But who are our drivers of the day?
Mm-hmm. I would think Gasly is my driver of the day.
I was going to say Gasly.
Were we all going to say Gasly?
Well, I was going to say it is Alonso, but also
Gasly.
Gasly had a hell of a race. Yeah. It was great to fight from the back for that. I mean, Alonso was having the best times all weekend. It was clear he was going to be on the podium most likely. Mm-hmm. And he's an incredible driver, so it wasn't that surprising. I don't know. Gasly, had an amazing race.
Yeah. And when Gasly was in the AlphaTauri, if he started from the back, you expected them to stay at the back, and
pretty
he
much,
really fought his way up. So
just didn't drive the same. And, he took advantage of the car he had, and he knows what he has, and he enjoys it.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
I agree with that. But what Alonso did, people are going to be talking about for years. This race is going to be remembered.
I think you're right.
For Alonso.
You're right.
It is.
This was a wildly good race.
No,
right.
I think it's accurate that he should be the official driver of the day.
Totally.
But
Wait, say totally
great
again.
drive.
Totally.
Great drive to Pierre.
Honestly,
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think we just want to also give credit to Pierre.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a very impressive drive. But you're absolutely right. Like this, when I look back at this race, I'm going to remember Alonso's race.
Mm-hmm.
It was his race.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. He had an incredible drive. Honestly, like, yeah.
Yep.
But like the two drivers who are announcers, Jolyon Palmer and Dave Coulthard, they were both talking about, they're like, nobody does that. Like, nobody passes people the way he's doing that. And this is classic Alonso, but he rarely brings it out. It's just like when people are being good defensive drivers, he's got a way around it.
Anything else? Announcer moment?
Yeah, there was a fun moment because I was saying Jolyon Palmer was fun. He was just so thrilled all weekend. He was glowing, like, just to be back.
I love Jolyon.
He's so funny. He just loves the sport so much, and it's fantastic. And he knows what he's talking about. So it's great.
Yeah.
But there was a moment during the race where they were talking about this style of passing, and he's like, the 2 years I raced with Renault, that was always the thing. Like, I was in the midfield with Alonso, and anytime I saw him in the mirror, like, he was going to get around me. Like, if he was coming up to me, he was going to get around me. Mm-hmm. No questions asked, because he always made the weirdest moves. Like, he just made choices you didn't expect. And then he said something about, like, he was, like, the best to do it while I was in the sport. And then Dave Coulthard goes, I didn't race at the same time. Otherwise, you would have said that about me. It was so funny. I was like,
by the way,
we all know that. Like, he was a world champion. Like, we know he's a good driver. Like, you don't need to reiterate this about yourself. Like,
no, he had to.
Credit. He had to. Though. He had to. He's like,
you got to do it.
Let me just put my name back in here.
I'm just gonna throw my name into the mix.
Just in case you didn't remember, I'm an incredible driver. Amazing. So that was my favorite announcer moment.
I don't have an announcer moment.
I know you hate it all. All right, let's talk about fantasy. There is a Formula One fantasy league, and this is a new thing for us.
We're in it.
I need to pull it up, actually.
Josiah and I are part of 2 teams.
Yes.
2 leagues.
2 leagues. Well, you actually have 2 teams.
And I do have 2 teams.
You can have up to 3 teams.
But I'm finding it hard to manage 2 teams.
Oh, sure.
I'm very confused on the app right now.
Yeah,
so
it's
I think
not the
I'm
clearest. It doesn't really tell you how the points work. I'm sure it does somewhere.
But I'm in 2nd place in the Dirty Dozen League. But I'm in 5th place in F1 Screwed Up Drivers Championship League. Man. Which is the league we're in with Jared.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me...
What's your team name?
My team name is Toinky Boinkly. Coming in at 2nd this week, 240 points.
Nice. My team name is Toto and the Wolves, and I have 72 points.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say everybody's names are very obscure, and I don't really know who is who.
Josiah is Petro Nasty.
Yeah, that's me.
Right.
And I have 119 points. I'm number 4 in that one. That's not bad. Oh, out of 6? It's not great.
Oh, yeah, because I had Leclerc and Norris on my team, and then Alpine.
I made all the bad choices. I had Leclerc.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that ends up as negative points, apparently. Since
I guess,
you didn't finish.
Do we want to talk about how you picked your teams? Because neither of you put Max Verstappen on your team. And is this principle? What is this? You were clearly like he was clearly going to win this race.
Most likely, yeah. They were struggling with the setup earlier in the weekend, though. During the free practices, it was looking rough. So I was like, well, maybe. And given that they had a terrible race last year in Bahrain, I was like, there's potential there.
Sure.
I'm not against putting Red Bull up there.
Okay, that's what I was mainly wondering. Like, are you never going to put Red Bull on your team?
I honestly didn't think it was going to be that embarrassing and that far ahead.
Yeah.
Like, Red Bull was going to be that far ahead of everybody. I thought maybe Leclerc would have a shot, and then, like, that'd be cool if Leclerc won, because he won last year.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't have a strategy. I chose based on who I like, and I chose based on nothing, really. Yeah, I have never been a part of any fantasy league, and I generally don't like fantasy leagues because I don't.
Yeah.
It's so many factors. I'm like, the sport itself is already a lot of factors.
Yeah.
So we'll see how long I hang in this.
Right. I did pick Pierre, though.
That's great.
Because I had a feeling he was going to have a good race. I didn't expect him to end up in 20th from qualifying. That was disappointing.
Yeah.
He could have had a much better race, but that went well for me. He got me some points.
Yeah, I did do better on the other team.
Okay, there was also this 3x bonus thing that I did not see and did not use.
Yeah,
none of my drivers
you
got
were
a 3x.
smart though, because you can only use it once. And I clicked it and didn't know that. And then once you have it on, you can't remove it. You can switch the driver.
You can use it once per season?
Once per season.
Okay.
The chips each chip you only get once per season.
I don't know if this is making sense on the podcast
I'm
right
not
now.
sure
We're talking
either.
deep into the details of this.
Yeah,
Basically, there's a one-time bonus that
we
you
can
can
move
put
on
onto a driver.
from fantasy if we want to, because it's very confusing.
It's
but we'll
really
give you a fantasy update
But
quickly each week.
I did want to just explain that mechanic because I have a quick story.
Oh, great.
Sure.
Okay.
Levi, who's in our league, he put the 3X on, which is how I found out about it. We were watching the race together.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
But he put it on Leclerc,
Oh no!
who ended up negative,
Oh,
so he got a
no.
ton of negative
Wait.
points.
Oh
So it
no!
actually does
3X the negative points.
Okay, so that makes more sense because I had him on 2x. I had Hamilton on 3x.
Levi, another biggest loser of the weekend.
Yeah.
All right,
but we can move on from fantasy.
But
we
I
do
am
have
winning against the
All right,
three
Jared
of us.
wants to talk about
You
it
are.
because
Okay, fine.
he's
Yeah,
winning.
You're winning
Let's
against
just-
the three of us.
Just to recap, I don't know. We might cut out some of that weird talk about fantasy,
Yeah.
but just to clarify, I am winning out of the three of us. Then that's what
That's-
matters.
This is true. And I am losing out of the three of us.
No, I think I'm losing.
I thought you had 148.
I have 72 among
in
our
our
league.
Sure,
I have
sure.
72 points.
Oh, wow. Cool. Anyways, let's move on. We are going to do listener questions. Yes. So if you have a question, anything related to F1, and you need an expert to answer it, we're here for you. We're not experts, but we're here for you, and we will answer your questions.
I think we're looking more for hypothetical questions.
We love a hypothetical.
Who would you be if you were a driver? That kind of thing.
Yeah. We like, if you want to know our opinions on things, we will give you those. Yeah.
Precisely.
But if you want to know about details of how things work, we don't know for the most part.
Yeah,
So-
nobody call in and ask how Ferrari can fix their strategy.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't
Don't
know.
We don't know. We will have opinions on it, but we don't know the answer to that. So, anyways, we do have a question today.
Yes. Well, first, let's say
No.
if you want to send us questions,
Yes.
send your question to our email,
Motosport.
motosportpod@gmail.com.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah,
Motosportpod@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Exactly. So send us your questions, and yeah, let's get into this first question, which comes from my friend Rachel. Shout out Rachel. And the question is, would you do a shoey?
Okay. So, one, we should say what a shoey is. If you don't know, a shoey, made famous by, invented by
Daniel Ricciardo.
Daniel Ricciardo,
is this disgusting thing where
you may guess Carly's answer.
Yeah. So anytime he was on a podium, well, and when you win a race, you have champagne. There's champagne there. You usually spray each other with it. Mm-hmm. It's a celebration, of course. So he would take his shoe off and pour some champagne into it.
And then drink
it.
From his shoe.
And then make other people drink it. Or other people wanted to. So, because a lot of
combination
times,
of.
Yeah. Sometimes like a celebrity would be there and they would ask for that to happen. Because I guess it's iconic now.
Sure. So anyway, that's a shoey. You're drinking out of a man's shoe who has just been in a car, in a vehicle for like over an hour.
And he just sweated out like, wait, how many?
Like 8 pounds of water.
Yeah. Into that shoe.
Would you do it?
Would you do a shoey?
Is the context like it is off of an F1 racing driver's foot, or is it just shoey in like, or is that the only specific context?
I think this is specific to Daniel Ricciardo.
So
and
you're
on
saying...
the podium after an F1 race. I think
I think it's definitely specific to an F1 race.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically,
it's not like, would you do this at home?
No.
I don't know.
Would you pour champagne into your own shoe?
We can answer that question too. The answer for me would be no. I would not do that at home. Absolutely not.
Somebody give an answer.
Okay, if I had just done a race and ended up on the podium with Daniel Ricciardo and he said shoey, I think I would, probably, because, hype. Now, if I'm not a driver and I did not, like, just do that race as well, no, I wouldn't do that. I don't think I would do that.
Okay. Theoretically, I understand what you're saying, but just picture this, okay? You're just watching this race. You end up right next to the podium.
Oh.
Daniel Ricciardo hands you a shoe.
Mm-hmm.
You're not drinking that?
See, the thing for me is I think it's absolutely disgusting, but I would get totally caught up in the moment. Like I got caught up with Marcus Samuelsson and shouted.
No, you're right.
I would have.
You'd black out and say, yeah!
I would black out. I would live it up and fully go for it.
I think you're right. I think I probably would too, honestly, in that moment, if I'm offered. But I don't think...
If I'm offered,
yeah. Well, because the thing is, like, say I'm, like, the person handing the trophy because I'm a celebrity, right? I'm Shaquille O'Neal at the Austin Grand Prix. So I'm giving somebody the trophy. I'm not going to ask him to give me a shoey.
Sure. But you would partake.
But if he says, this is my shoe, there's champagne in it, drink it, I would do it, I think. Yeah. If Daniel Ricciardo did that, yeah.
All right. So we'd all say...
So all that to say hard yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
100% into it.
And now we're doing shoeys after every race. Anyways, thank you, Rachel. If you have a question, send us that question at motosportpod@gmail.com. All right, moving on. Final segment of the episode. Our Minnesota moments. That's perfect.
Yeah.
We're incredible. All right, so what's a Minnesota moment? Especially in relation to F1.
It's really vague and loose.
Yes. But basically, we want to tie F1 into Minnesota as much as possible because we love both of these things. So a Minnesota moment essentially is anything at all that happened at race weekend.
Throughout the entirety of the race weekend.
All of the race weekend, anything. Pre-shows, post-shows, tech talks, whatever.
Did you say tech talks?
Yes. Tech talks.
Tech talks.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say TikTok and mispronouncing it?
No. Tech talks.
Follow us on TikTok.
No, we're not talking about TikToks. We're talking. I mean, could, but
tech talks.
Yeah. anything that happened this weekend that reminds us of anything related to Minnesota in any way at all.
Mm-hmm.
Very specific.
Yes. Do you want to go first? Give people a sense of what this is.
Yes, I will happily go first. So, my Minnesota moment happened in the pre-show of qualifying. We had Will, Lawrence, and Laura as hosts of the pre-show. And they'd have some people coming in, doing some interviews here and there. Whatever, usual stuff. Talking about things. And then, so they've had like some team principals come up and whatnot. But at one point, they were talking about, I don't even remember what. And I see Otmar Schaffnauer, team principal for Alpine. He starts walking by and he looks over at them. And then he sort of pauses his stride and just like looks at them for a second. And then like is almost just going back and forth of like, oh, are they going to, do you want to interview me or no? Okay. And then just keeps walking. It was amazing. Because I also saw Toto Wolff on the post show just come right up to them and grab a microphone out of their hands and join the interview. So to me, Otmar Schaffnauer is the most Minnesotan team principal. And that was a Minnesota moment for me.
He's so Minnesotan.
Okay. I watched part of the pre-show of the race, and there was another weird moment.
Oh, really?
On the grid with Otmar.
What?
Where they went over to kind of talk to him, and he just turned around, walked away, but then stopped and turned around, and then they walked up and back to him, and then they actually interviewed him.
That is incredible.
Wow.
Okay, this just confirms that
he's from Minnesota.
He's a Minnesotan at heart, for sure. For sure. Shout out Otmar. Wow. Come visit us in Minnesota.
Please. The new goal of this podcast is to get Otmar on the podcast.
He's our number one. Get Otmar on the pod. Yeah, it's not a great hashtag.
I think it's a fantastic hashtag. The longer the better. Put his last name in there too. Get Otmar. Hashtag get Otmar Schaffnauer, team principal for Alpine Renault.
On Motosport
Podcast.
Okay, do you want me to go with my Minnesota moment?
Absolutely.
My Minnesota moment in reality has nothing to do with Minnesota even in the slightest, but
at all.
It does to me. So
interesting.
My Minnesota moment is Yuki Tsunoda's helmet design, and it's not technically a race weekend thing, but it was his debut of wearing it during a race. Sure. And his helmet design looks like leaves that are fall colors, essentially. They look like they are maple leaves.
Oh, they are?
And they're reddish, orangish, and they're all over a white background. And you look at it and you're like, Yuki was thinking of fall colors on the North Shore in Minnesota.
Right? It's his favorite place.
Yeah.
In the fall.
He's there all the time, right? He has to
fall.
be.
Yeah, on
That's
the North
what
Shore.
inspired him.
Absolutely.
It's not actually, when I looked it up, they're Japanese maples. So that's what that is. But that's my Minnesota moment.
That's
fall
great.
Colors.
Honestly, fall is the best time in Minnesota. It's fantastic, especially up the North Shore. It's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. It's just beautiful. And to have Yuki acknowledge that in Bahrain this weekend.
Have Yuki say, you know what? I need Minnesota fall colors on my helmet.
I'll call them Japanese maples.
Call them Japanese maples, but those Minnesotans, they'll get it.
They'll get it.
They'll know.
The true fans, they'll know.
It's a nod to them.
It was for us.
Yeah. 100%. So thank you, Yuki.
Thank you for that,
for
Yuki.
acknowledging us, for making us feel seen.
Yes, in Formula One. I love it. Did you have any other moment, potentially?
We sprung this on Jared.
I didn't know about the concept before this, but
yeah, our bad.
The closest thing I can think of is just being a Mercedes fan. Felt like watching the Vikings this weekend.
Oh man,
just kind of disappointing. Mm-hmm. There's hope there, but Kind of disappointing.
It's a little different because, but yeah, no, I see what you mean.
This race weekend.
Yeah,
I'm saying
no, I got you. That makes sense.
Right.
I was gonna say Mercedes is one of the most successful team in Formula One history. So
right, but just this weekend felt
but this
like
weekend,
watching
for sure.
a Vikings game.
Yes.
Right, there was hope, and it was not.
It felt like watching a Vikings NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Like, you always have the hope, but you know in the back of your mind, you know deep down in your heart, they're not going to win, and it's going to be their fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Those are our Minnesota moments.
Yeah. Let us know your Minnesota moments.
Yeah, honestly, if you send us a Minnesota moment and we like it, we'll talk about it. So
only if we like it.
Only if we like it.
So send us
well,
good
yeah,
ones.
I'm not going to talk about bad ones.
Yeah, we're not going to read anything on here. But we will say the names of the people who submitted the bad ones. So
yes.
you can publicly shame them.
That is the best way to gain followers.
I'm kidding. Send us your Minnesota moments. All right.
I think we're at our closing point.
Yeah. Here. Anything you're looking forward to in the next race? We're going to Saudi Arabia. Any thoughts from here on that race? Hopes, predictions.
I mean, I feel like it's just so early still that I'm just curious to see how things, like how things are going to shake out.
For sure. No, that's fair. Yeah.
I hope Mercedes is better. I hope Ferrari gets it together.
I hope McLaren gets it together. Doubt they will, but not by that weekend anyways. I don't think so. I hope Alpine has a better weekend. I think they will.
Yeah, that was just an unfortunate situation for Alpine.
Yeah, they got really unlucky overall. It was weird.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. So I do think Alpine will have a better weekend. I think and I hope that the gap will not be so aggressive from Red Bull, but I still think Red Bull will win.
Yeah, I don't know, because I can't remember like what team's Saudi Arabia track is.
It's actually a good Mercedes track because of the tight corners. They tend to be better in those slow corners, and Red Bull's not. They're faster in a straight line, but there's plenty of fast straights. It's a fast track, so
sure.
But there is option to catch up because you need a really balanced car, but I'm not sure Mercedes can bring that. Yeah. But maybe somebody else can. Maybe Aston Martin can.
Right? Who would have
honestly,
thought
I'm still
Aston
shocked.
Martin, we'd be like
rooting
for them.
I know, right? Honestly, I don't like anybody on that team, but like, man, they've got a killer package. This is great. And it's fun to see.
Killer package.
That was a great ending. Cut it right there.
Yeah, killer package.
Killer package. And cut.
Thanks for joining us this week. We appreciate your listens. Share it, subscribe, like it, review us. Let us know your feedback at motosportpod@gmail.com. Getting better at that. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, we'll see you in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
We'll see you there.
We'll see you in Saudi Arabia. I love it.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
Bye.